Okay, welcome. New moon, June. I think it's actually tomorrow. The 6th is when the actual new moon is. It's in Gemini. I thought tonight we could do, just like I said, a little bit of a simpler ceremony with the divination and journaling. Divination can be oracle cards. It's the most obvious one, but for people who don't have oracle cards, you could use bookmancy, I think is the way the term is bookmancy, something like that. So if you have like a book of poetry, you could just flip through the pages and then land on a page, just a random page, and then just pick one line from that page and use that as your divination. Or a playlist. Like if you have a music playlist, you press shuffle on your music playlist and then use the title of that song for your divination or lyrics of the song. Either way. So what I do every month, I have this weird ritual. I have like 5 oracle decks, and so I switch them out with the new moon each month. I start with a fresh one. I take the old one and I use that for my new moon ritual. Then I pull out the card that's going to be my new moon card, put it on my altar, and put that deck away. And then I pull out a new deck that I use all month long. And then at the end of the month, I take one card from that deck to represent the next month. As I'm saying it, it probably would be even cooler if I used the new deck to start the new month. But the reason I don't do it that way is because there'll be one card missing from the deck, right? So that's why I use the old deck, because then I put it away because it has the one card stays on my altar. Whatever. Now you know. So that's how I do it every month with my rotating through my 4 or 5 decks or whatever. So let's just get started. We'll start by entering our ceremonial space, just to let the universe know, our subconscious know that we're beginning our ritual. So whatever you use to start your ritual, your marker to cross that threshold into your ceremonial space. And as you do so, inviting in any spirits, any beings that you want to invite into the space with us. I always like to invite in my ancestors, my guides, and my angels. And of course, the beings of the land that we are on, or any land we are connected to, like land you might have just visited, or land that you call home, but you don't live in now. Any land that you are connected to, you can call in the spirits of that land now to support you in ritual, as well as any nature beings that are on the land with you at this time. Now, like we were talking about with springtime, there's so many nature beings coming out all over the place that can aid us in our work in this moon cycle. So that's really a wonderful time of year to have that. And who else would you like to call in at this time? The earth, the air, the fire and water, the great creator, the great spirit, and our highest selves, of course, calling in our most high self, that part of ourselves that is all knowing and wise, our wisest self. So find the, let's pull out our form of divination. So it sounds like from whom I spoke with, most of us have decks. If you have another form of divination, we're going to just take time now. Let's just hold our form of divination, whatever it is. And just set our intention for tonight's ritual. Our intention tonight is to tune in to the moon, continuing to form our connection with the moon, with the cosmos, the cosmic energy, the phases of the moon, the tides and waters of the moon, continuing to restore and engage our connection with the natural world. And in doing so, we just bring our intention to work with the moon. Since it's a new moon, we'll set our intention for this forthcoming cycle. And that's what we want to do. We want to put us on a track for this moon cycle that is most nourishing for ourselves right now, most needed. And as we set our intention tonight, it might shift throughout the month, but it's something that we can always go back to, a touchstone that will ground us throughout the month, and a reminder. So I also want to take a moment just to set the container here. We might take a moment to just connect with each other in our small circle, the people that are presently here, imagining ourselves in circle in this astral plane, this digital astral plane, and leaving some space for those who will watch the recording later to be in circle with us. And just creating a container to hold us here so that whatever happens, whatever we share, whatever happens in this ceremony, it's a safe space. We're doing it together. We're supporting each other, and anything is allowed. We're just allowed to be ourselves. We can take off our masks that we wear all day long just for this period of time and just be ourselves, because we're in ceremony, we're in ritual, and it doesn't matter. It's all okay here. And that's also part of the reason I don't record shares, just so that we can just kind of let it go and be fully present with ourselves and with each other. And if people are interested in sharing, they just gotta show up. So all that said, oh, so much talking. Let's start by shuffling our deck. With the intention in mind to start that we are working the moon, that we are creating our intention for the month, our theme, our through line, our touchstone for the month. Just giving the deck your energy, breathing into it. Let's do that. In fact, just holding it, taking a couple deep breaths with it. You might envision, as you close your eyes, the moon above. And just imagine the moon sending silvery light down through your crown. And down through your head. And just feel your head relax as you feel the silvery light travel down through your head and neck, through your shoulders and your chest and into your heart. And as you receive this moonlight into your heart, just allowing it to shine out of your heart in all directions, including down your arms, into your hands, and through your hands into your cards. And then just take a couple deep breaths. Inhaling up to the moon Exhaling the moonlight all the way down into your heart, through your arms, into the dead. Inhaling all the way up to the moon. And exhaling the moonlight down to the deck. One more time. Inhaling up to the moon. Exhaling all that moon energy down through your body, shiny, radiating from your heart into your arms, into the deck. Okay, so we're going to pick 3 cards tonight. In my tradition, we knock 3 times with our left hand and split the deck 3 times. You can do however you do your thing. So the first card is going to represent this past month. And one thing I invite you to do is to maybe pull that thing from your altar. If you have an intention from last month, something you put on your altar from last month to represent the last month. So like, for example, I have a card and I have a little mantra that I made in last month's ritual. And I'm just going to take a moment to reflect on what kind of energy I was working with last month. I had this mantra, my life is easy and I am at ease. And I have this card, River of Blessings, Releasing Constraints. I'm going to lay that down as well. And then I'm also going to put my new card on top of that. So after you placed your new card down, we're going to take some time to reflect on the last moon cycle, the energy of the last moon cycle, how our intention from the last moon cycle manifested or didn't manifest. And then also looking at this new card to see what this new card might be telling us even more so about that energy from the last cycle. So taking out your journal now and just writing on the journal, the first card or the first divination, which represents last cycle. Write down whatever the card is that you pulled. Also, if you want to look the card up in a book and see what it says, it could be nice to take some notes from that book. And then after you've taken a couple notes from the book, you're just going to kind of free write and just free write a reflection on the last moon cycle and what it meant for you and what came up for you. And so I'm going to give about 10 minutes or so for that. Okay, so just finishing up what you were writing. I'm not sure if it was 10 minutes because I forgot to time it exactly, but I think it was about that. So for the next card, don't pull it yet. We're going to do a card for the present moment. And I'm just going to start by doing a little tuning in to our bodies. So as you're ready, hopefully everyone's done writing. Once again, just take a moment to close your eyes. And we're going to do like a body scan. And just starting maybe from your head and just noticing sensations in your body as you scan down your body. And doing your best not to give them a story, but just noticing how you feel inside your body right now. And if you notice anywhere where there's like a strong sensation, see if you can name what it is. So if it feels like a physical sensation, it might be calling for your attention. If it feels more like energetic or emotional sensation calling for your attention, can you name what that is in your body? And I invite you to breathe into it. Breathing into it, just noticing if it changes at all with your attention, with your breath. Almost like you're surrendering to it. You're allowing it full expression in your body. So just notice if you notice any resistance, letting go of any resistance. And just really being with what is happening in your body, what your body is saying to you. Notice if there's any movements that feel good here to make. Okay, and then when you're ready, we'll pull the next card. Okay. And once again, I'll give you 10 minutes. So if you want to take time to read the guidebook or listen to the whole song or read the whole poem or whatever, or look at it and reflect on the imagery. And then just free writing whatever comes up, just, letting it out, whatever is coming up for you with this card. And then I'll be back. This time I'll look at what the actual time is. Okay, finishing up what you're writing. And just take a moment to just to look at the first and second card and see if you can sort of draw a connection between the two if you haven't already. Just noticing if there's a thread between last month's cycle and this current space that you're in now. So you've come full circle, and here you are. And we're gonna use this thread, this connection, before we draw our third card. To once again, closing our eyes and turning inward for a moment, taking some deep breaths. Recalling the first card you pulled and kind of the essence of that card. And the second card you pulled and the essence of that card. And just bringing those into your heart space. Bring your awareness into your heart space. Bring in those feelings that have come up, or sensations or ideas. And just notice how your heart feels in this moment. What is going on in your heart space? Curiosity, maybe anxiety, maybe excitement. Even the anxiety is excitement, right? When we have drawn these threads, we've gotten these ideas, we've completed a cycle, we're moving into the next phase. And though we want to bring with us all that we've learned and all these lessons we've acquired and be um, in our most authentic selves, being in our truths, we also want to step into the next phase. We want to continue our growth, our evolution, and step into what is next. And these first two cards are there to support us as we step forward, but not to hold us back in any way. So we'll take that thread with us, but we're also going to allow for a completely fresh new limitless intention. Anything is possible and can happen in this next cycle. There's no restrictions whatsoever on what's next for us. So just take a moment once again to call down that moonlight, and we'll just let it cleanse us, just clearing our space. Just imagine the silver moonlight is passing over you and through you. And as it does, it's just clearing out the energy, clearing out anything you're holding on to, any tension, just letting it go, any preconceived notions, any judgments. You might just see the silvery moonlight energy just clearing you a waterfall or a fountain, a shower, and just notice how easy it is to let everything go. It's just washing off of you and flowing downstream. It could just join the stars or join the cosmic ocean where it'll just integrate with everything else. Make sure you allow that the shower to go down your back and through you, just clearing out your energy centers all the way down your legs, through your feet, feeling completely clear. Just let it go. So easy. Feeling lighter. Once you feel cleansed, now allow that energy to continue to cleanse over you, but this time it's filling you up with lightness, just more light, more shining. So those empty spaces are clear, they're light, they're ready for possibility, ready to go. Tuning back into your heart space and just tune into what you want to feel for this coming cycle. What would just feel exactly right, exactly in tune for you? Just the most perfect energy, the most perfect vibe stepping into this next moon cycle. It's just the exact vibe you need. See if you can feel into it. Best you can. Taking a few breaths into this feeling. Inhale into it, exhale, just let it expand. Maybe there's a visual aspect to it, if that feels right. And when you're ready, pull your next card, your next divination. Just take a moment with it. So sometimes we pull something and like right away we're like smiling. That's awesome card. If you pulled a card and you are not smiling, remember that sometimes the meaning is in the reverse of the card too. Just putting that out there in case that happens to all of us sometimes. All right. So once again, I'll give you 10 minutes to look in, do any research you want into it, to stare at it, and then to just kind of journal on what's coming up for you in around this card. So this is card number 3, and this is your next cycle, the new cycle that you're moving into. So we just did a three card spread, past, present, future, basically. Okay, finishing up. If you haven't already. Hope that gave you some good insight. Um, so then what I would traditionally do would be to use the last card as my altar placement for the month. And then that's why I start a new deck, because that deck will be missing a card. So that's up to you. And then I'm also wondering if we look at all three of our cards. If you are using cards, especially noticing if there's similarities in the imagery, if you can find any thread or similarity in the imagery, it could be as simple as like a color, or there might be a motif of some sort that's echoed throughout all three. There might be something in the words. If you're using word divination of any sort, just noticing a commonality between them, or the numbers even. And I like to create like a affirmation as well. So you could just create an affirmation based on the last card, or you can use the other two cards, or at least the card previous to the second and third card, if not the first, second, and third card, to help shape an affirmation. So just take a moment now, maybe look back at some of your writing and see if there was something in there that feels good. Like sometimes I might go through and just like underline something I wrote, or a few things I wrote. I'll just like skim it and just like underline things. Okay, and then see if you can write an affirmation. Once you kind of find the words, just take a moment to pause, say them to yourself, tuning into your heart, and just see if it resonates, if it's the right language that you want to use, or if you want to switch it up at all. And of course, it often will change throughout the month. It might change up as you are experiencing the month. But I also invite you to write it on a separate piece of paper or to tear it out. So you have not just the card on the altar, which is one thing, but then also maybe the affirmation, you could put that somewhere else too, like on your refrigerator or somewhere, and that should just remind you. And then you would place, as I said, the card and the paper up on the altar, maybe. And then with the old one from the month before, you could, if you have a card from the month before, you can return it. You might want to take a picture of your 3 cards too before you put them away, so you can remember what 3 cards were you pulled, what they look like, although you did write it down. And then if you have your mantra from last month, you can, burn it or tear it up or hold, save it, whatever you want to do. So at this time, we can take some time to share if you want to. I'll open it up to sharing because that just sort of like gives us like accountability. Like I'm telling everybody now what my intention is that I'm holding on to for the month. It also might help like saying out loud might help us to like hear ourselves say it out loud and like clarify it more or green it more deeply for us. Um, so I'm going to pause the recording now. Okay, thank you for the wonderful share. So that's the end of our ceremony. We're actually like kind of going over time. So let's just take a moment to close out. We'll just take a moment to reimagine that container we created with all of us in it in our little bubble and in different parts of the country and different times of day. And for people watching the recording somewhere else in a different time, just giving thanks to that container we're holding, but also now we can really just let it go, just let it dissipate. I like to just let it glitter away and or return to the earth. And I just like to roll my shoulders back and kind of step out of that container, coming back into my own space, my own body. And as I recross the threshold, just giving thanks to all of those that we invited in, all the beings that we invited into ceremony with us tonight, all of our guides in all their forms. And also giving thanks to ourselves for showing up and making these connections with ourselves, with the earth, with each other, with community, and the moon, and the earthlings, all beings of the earth. We're so grateful. And when you're ready, closing out. Thank you all for coming.